Alright, what is up, y'all? So today I would like to share my personal vision and values that I've worked on. Kathy inside the October holiday preset had asked, because one of our homework assignments is working on our vision and values using the vision and values worksheet, or any other method you want to, but we have a pretty solid little process we put together. And she had asked if I could share some examples or share my personal. And so I took it as an opportunity to kind of rework my personal vision and values. And I really wanted to simplify things a little bit. And I tried not to use any of my previous materials, and so I just kind of started fresh, and it was just a really, really interesting process. It kind of ended with a conversation I had with Arnica. By the way, this is going to go off in different tangents. I don't have much of a structure to it. I do have some notes here, but if you stick with me, I think this will be really useful. If nothing else, interesting, okay? But the other day, it was just a couple days ago, I had asked Arnica, and I'm always bouncing ideas off of her. Really what I think I'm doing is she's allowing me to listen to myself talk to myself, and then she gives some really good input and advice here and there. But I would sit and just stare off into the distance and ask myself, like, what am I doing? What do I want? What do I really want? If money wasn't an issue, if I had all the time in the world and could live in an ideal place and just had the perfect setting, and just whatever those things are that we think would facilitate us being relatively comfortable and happy, right? What would I want to be doing? What do I want? And I stare off into the distance, and I was asking her this on the phone the other day. I'm like, just hear me out, babe. I'm like, what is it that I want? I sat there and I just really thought about it. I want to help people. I want to share this gift of health with as many people as I can. And the reason that I want to do that is because there's just so much information out there. It's really hard to figure out what to pay attention to and what to actually implement, because depending on who you follow and listen to, even in the world that we would consider to be accurate information, the ancestral holistic health world, everyone has their own way of doing things. So it's like, I feel like I really enjoy the process of deciphering and filtering out what it is that we need to know. So I'm just sitting here talking this out with her. This is exactly the process I went through with her, right? So I'm sitting here thinking, what is it I want to do? This is what I want to do. And why do I want to do that? Because I see myself in these people. I see myself in every single one of these people that don't have this stuff figured out, because I was there, you were there, we were all there. And it's like every single one of these people is a gem waiting to be uncovered, a diamond in the rough. There's this version of themselves that's the happiest, healthiest, most vibrant, just amazing version of themselves that everyone could have this gift, and then their life would completely change. And I want to facilitate that because I see myself in other people, and I really enjoy the process of doing it. So, and then that implies that I have to have my personal health figured out, and that also implies that I have to scrutinize what it is that I'm doing. So in that conversation with Arnica, and many times throughout the week, I'm always asking her, babe, does it seem like I'm doing what I need to do? Am I focused on the right things? From your perspective, does it look like I'm doing the right things? Because, in my effort to want to help people, I have this online community that I'm nurturing and building, that we are nurturing and building together. And I also have to have a public presence, and I have to put out public content, which is a way for me to reach other people and get them to come into our community and come to our seminars and things. And so my process is daily, it's all about like refocusing myself and just scrutinizing what it is I'm doing, and is it what I need to be focused on to facilitate an amazing experience in this group, and also to facilitate putting out public information, whatever. So I'm just sitting here talking this out, and I come back to, yes, I want to help people. My personal health is very important. I have to have the awareness and the honesty with myself to scrutinize what it is I'm doing on a daily basis, to continually hone what that is, And that was a summary of what I had previously put together with my values and vision worksheet, was these three main things: personal health, helping others, and awareness. All right, now I want to talk about how I came to that. So following up on Kathy's question, about like, can you share this? As we got into this discussion in one of our live chats or live Zoom meetings, she said, this is hard. This is hard work. This is very deep and hard work to sit and really be honest with yourself about where you are, the things you haven't accomplished that you thought you wanted to, what you're trying to accomplish and moving forward and things like that. And I agreed with her. I was like, it is hard. In fact, this kind of stuff, this vision and values and acknowledging where you're at and thinking about where you want to go and the kind of person you want to be and all this stuff, it's really hard. In fact, I don't think most of us want to do it because it's difficult work. It takes some time. I don't know why it's so uncomfortable, but it is, even for myself. I mean, it feels good as you're doing it, and especially when you're working with someone else and bouncing ideas off of them. I really think, health coaching can help tremendously in this process. Every single one of my clients, we have these dynamic meetings where we're going through this process and we acknowledge that we wouldn't be able to do this on our own, including myself, But anyway, it for whatever reason, it's really uncomfortable. And at the same time, it's so useful and necessary. And we talked for a moment about why. Like, why do we keep harping on this vision and values thing? Why is it so useful? Because, first of all, if you don't do this, then I feel like the default is just to be reactionary to everything, right? You're just living life and you're just reacting to life situations and problems as they come. And you don't really have any kind of a guiding force, When you work on this stuff, and we call it vision and values now, we can call it something else. Affirmations, positive statements, goal setting, like whatever this is, we're trying to pull out of us, of each other, of you, as we do this, we're trying to pull out what it is that's important to us and the kind of person that we want to be and the things that we want to accomplish and achieve and where we want to be in the future and all that stuff. The reason this is so important is because it becomes a guiding force in your life. It becomes this thing that you can use to scrutinize what it is that you're doing on a daily basis or that you're thinking on a moment-to-moment basis, And so when I talk that out, I realize I'm really thankful for this ability, even though I feel like I'm hard on myself and we're hard on ourselves as we're going through this process. At the same time, I think it's a gift to be able to honestly look at yourself and scrutinize what it is that you're doing or not doing, and does it align with what it is that you think is important and what you're trying to do and who you're trying to be. But you first have to have that in your mind, because if you don't have that in your mind, you're working towards things, and what are you working towards? Do they align with what it is that's important to you, So the reason this is important is because it gives you this guiding force that you're moving towards. You're not reactionary anymore. You're proactive. The things that you do on a regular basis are supposed to be aligning with this vision for yourself, and so you're taking steps towards something versus reacting to something or moving away from it. And it gives you this ability to scrutinize what it is that you're thinking and doing on a daily basis. I think that's so valuable. So I just want to go through my answers to some of the questions on that sheet, and I may go off on some more tangents. So thanks for staying with me on this. So one of the first questions there, after just acknowledging what are the values that are important to you, is what are your strengths? And as I sat and thought about it, and I was talking this out with Harnica, I feel like my strength is taking really complex information and simplifying it down to something that we need to know, and in a way that builds flexibility enough that you can make this work in a modern lifestyle. And I feel like I've done that my entire life. Even when I was in insurance, that's what I did. I'd take all this complex info and boil it down into this one pager that I could share with a client and say, look, this is what you need to understand about this. This is what I would recommend, something along those lines. And so I just feel like I have this really, really tremendous ability I got this intuition. So just imagine, I've been doing this, and this may sound like a plug for me and what I'm doing and all this stuff, and I'm not meaning for it to be, but it ties into this thing that we're talking about here with the vision and values. But I've got 10 years of working with individuals, thousands of hours under my belt. I have a lot of experience being in front of people, in front of groups, and getting feedback and doing progressions and things. And I am constantly in the scientific literature. I get summary emails once a week, clinical pearls on relevant topics that I've chosen to get information on. I have my thought leaders that I follow, and that's always changing and updating. I read every book they put out, every blog post, every podcast. I'm in tune with this ancestral health realm from a lot of different perspectives. And every single one of those people has their own way of doing things, and a lot of them are complex and restrictive. And what I'm trying to do for myself, which is what I want to share with others, is figure out what is it that I need to know about this? What is it that I need to take from this to implement in my life to see some results, and at the same time be able to live my life in this modern world and enjoy some of my indulgences and enjoy modern conveniences. And I feel like I just have this innate intuition to figure out what that is, and that's constantly evolving. And just like A really good fitness coach that's been doing it a really long time has this intuition about how to move properly and how to coach and how to say it and things like that. I feel like I continue to get better and better and better at that. That's one of my strengths. So that's answering the question, what are my strengths? One of my strengths is taking complex information and boiling it down to what it is that we need to know and melding it with a modern life. Another one of my strengths is I really care. Like I truly want to help people. And I realized the other day that a big part of that is because I see myself in other people. I see, as off plan or as far off as people could be from, their what they could be, their potential. When I see these people, I know that every single person is trying to do the same thing that we're trying to do, which is be happy and healthy. Everyone wants the same thing for themselves. Most people just don't know how to get there because it's just too overwhelming, or they're just getting the wrong information all the time and they're trying to put that into practice. They're not getting the results. They're frustrated with it. So I see myself in other people and I genuinely care. And, as we grow what we're doing with Superhumans United and as this business grows and it becomes financially viable, no matter how big it gets, every bit of everything that is in excess of what I need to live a comfortable life is going to go into making this an exceptional experience for all the people that I work with. That's what I want. I want to help people. I want to give people an exceptional experience. And I feel like I have a tremendous work ethic. I have a tremendous commitment to my daily health habits. It's just ingrained in me now. I have no problem getting up early, doing the things that make me healthy, and doing the things that I need to do to build and grow and empower and communicate and share all this information. And I feel like I lead by example as far as health goes. If you could watch me with a hidden video camera all day, every day, everything that I talk about, I put it into practice. And at the same time, I'm a human being. I have my vices, I have my indulgences that I'm very open about. So those are my strengths, right? That was useful because those kind of align with what I think my values are, right? So as I'm tying all this together, I've got my values, I acknowledge my strengths, I ask myself the questions, what is the kind of person that I want to be in these different areas? Then we come to trying to summarize these things. And I think it was on the third page of the Vision and Values worksheet. The question is like, pretend you're talking to someone else and they ask you, what's important to you? Why is that important to you? What do you want to do with your life? Those are really deep, powerful questions, and especially if you're trying to pretend like you have to share this with someone else. So as I was compiling all this information, again, like every little tasks that we do in that sheet or that we've done in the past, it contributes to this understanding, this greater understanding of an overall big picture of what it is that we're trying to do for ourselves, right? So I simplified it to these three things. And the first one is health is my number one priority because health facilitates everything else that's important to me. When I have my own personal health, and we're talking about physical health, emotional health, spiritual health, when I have my own personal health, I work better, I think better, my awareness is better, I'm excited about life, I'm confident in my mind and my body and my spirit. And I feel like it's worth every bit of time and effort that I put into making myself as healthy as possible, every bit of money that I put into making myself as healthy as possible, because with that health, I have a vibrancy and a radiance and a clarity and an excitement for life, and it helps facilitate my second most important value or part of my vision, which is empowering others. Empowering others is extremely important to me. Now, why is that important to me? Because I mentioned before, I love taking complex information and simplifying it down to things that is easy to understand and what we need to know. I see myself in other people, and therefore I want to help those people because I've been there. I know what it feels like. And when I help other people, when I empower other people, I am contributing to a better world. It has ripple effects beyond what I can see because I know when those people are empowered and healthier and happier, then they're showing up to their lives different and impacting their families' lives different, and they're impacting their workplace different, So I just have this cheesy vision that as I help this one person, and it has these little ripple effects and helps other people, and usually maybe sometimes they share it with someone else. And I feel like that's how this grassroots movement of ancestral health and the low carb and keto and paleo worlds and Weston A. Price and all these things, it's like we all have our own ways of sharing and doing things, and it's trickling out, and more people get aware of it, and we've got a bigger voice, As I empower other people, it just makes me feel good because I know that I'm doing such a good service. And in that feeling good, it makes me excited and it makes me want to do it even more. And it's like, I get these bursts of like, oh man, it's so good to know that you experience that, or that I can see this change in you, and it makes me want to do some more, So that's my second value, or my second part of my bigger picture vision and values. And then the third piece of it is awareness. So awareness is cultivating the skill of noticing and seeing what's happening and being very brutally honest about that, and having the honesty to scrutinize what it is that you're thinking and doing on a daily basis. Because with awareness, I can see clearly what's happening. And if I can be honest with myself, then I can acknowledge that maybe I'm not doing what I need to do for my own personal health, for what's best for trying to nurture this community, for empowering others and the content that I'm putting out. So I'm thankful for the gift of awareness, because it is what allows me to be even more healthy than I am, and it's what allows me to figure out what's the most important things for me to share with other people. So when I cultivate and practice awareness, I'm more present, I'm happier, I'm better to serve those around me, and I feel like I put out much better quality work because I can scrutinize what it is that I'm doing. So in summary, as I went through this process, starting fresh, I have so many different vision and values versions out there. I have so many different affirmations. I've got affirmations for every situation in my life, and I still use those sometimes. I have affirmations that I use before a client comes in, and I read through it to try to get my mind set. I have affirmations that I sometimes read before I go into the gym to try to get my mind set about, working out. So I've got like a lot of stuff put together, but just like many things that we've done, I also want to simplify that down into what is important, what is need to know, what's the most important things to me. And the most important things to me after going through this process yet again is personal health. My number one value, personal health. My second one is helping others, and my third one is cultivating awareness and being honest with myself about what it is that I'm doing on all levels, So I'm trying to think if that's everything that I wanted to say about that. Well, what I do want to say is, for those of you that are following and listening to what I have to say, especially those of you that are part of the community and that are paying members or that have been paying clients, that have contributed financially or emotionally or energetically to anything that this thing is about, I just want to say thank you so much for doing that, because it's what facilitates and allows this to happen. And whether you agree with everything that I put out or not, whether you agree with my personality, the way I talk, my videos, like I get sick of seeing myself, but regardless, your contribution has helped me and us help so many people, and it's just going to continue to get bigger and better. And those of us that are part of the community, my commitment is I am daily thinking about what is the most important things for me to work on, so that I can provide an exceptional experience for people in here, so that they feel like the money they're paying into it is well worth it. And I want you to know that what's behind this is I am trying to bring to you what is the most important and relevant information on each one of these topics that we need to know to make this work in a modern lifestyle. And in the back of my mind, I'm always thinking in terms of simplifying and embracing modern conveniences and just making this work for a lifetime, which means that we're not going to be as strict and rigid as other things. But that's my commitment to you guys. And I'm just, I'm open to feedback, how to make this thing better. I think we got a really good little flow and process. I feel like the more people that we get in here, the better it gets. I remember with Facebook groups, it's really quiet and we have a certain amount of people, and then once it gets to a certain level, it starts to bubble up with activity. So I think the more people we get in here, the better. The more people we get into it, the more this becomes financially viable, the more that we can afford to pay for things that we can't do right now. We can pay for guest speakers to come in on a regular basis. We can pay for like professional classes in different areas that I'm not an expert in. And that just makes things better for us. We can afford to have some leverage to give us more discounts and perks and things like that. So my commitment is, as this grows, that I'm using all of that to continue to make this better for all of us. So thank you for being a part of it with me, and thank you for your contribution. Your contribution matters in there, by the way. Like anytime that you say or post something or like or participate in a question or a poll or share a recipe or something, that has ripple effects beyond what you can see. Like people pay attention. There's a lot of people I know that just like in a Facebook group, they're watching, they go through, they pick some useful info, they read a post, they watch a video, they get a recipe, and they use it, and they don't say anything about it. So anytime that you contribute in there in any way, it's having an impact on other people. So if I could just make a plug for trying to just participate in some way, whatever your comfort level is, like answering questions and liking and sharing things, and maybe taking a moment once a week or once periodically to just share something, share something about a win or a challenge or something like that. Your contribution matters, and it's what's going to make this thing a great place. It's already a great place, and it's going to keep getting better over time. So anyway, hope that was helpful. I think if I could give any advice, it would be to go through the process in that vision and values worksheet, and just let whatever comes out of it come out of it, and have an intention to come out of it with some simplified statements or something that represent who it is that you are, what you're trying to become, that can help you make decisions and help you scrutinize what it is you're doing on a daily basis so you can live the most amazing life possible. Okay, and everyone's is going to be different. And if you need any help whatsoever, this is what I do on a daily basis. I visit with clients every single freaking day. These vision and values worksheets and everything that we put in the courses, like, it comes from this interaction with private clients. So if you need some help, reach out. I've got a free 15-minute call calendar thing in the perks thing, and you can schedule some time with me, and you can do that as many times as you want. I will do that for as long as I can until we get so big that I can't. Then maybe we'll have other coaches in here helping and stuff like that. But anyway, probably went on too long with that, but thank you so much for paying attention, and you guys keep it real, and we'll talk to you guys soon.